So if you fancy knocking up this bowl of deliciousness on your next camping trip, then friends, keep watching. Hey, how's it going? My name's Jane Sarche. I write recipes for a living. This is Myrtle. She's my pride and joy, my Volkswagen campervan, and it's together in this teeny little kitchen that we bring you guys awesome one-pot camping recipes. Yes! Sound like your cup of tea? Please whack that subscribe, ding that bell, and then you'll get notified each time we upload our latest video. So before we crack on with today's recipe, very quickly, can I introduce you to my new pride and joy? I bought this on Etsy. Isn't it the cutest kettle ever? The old one, do you remember the battered one from the coffee maker reviews? I have let that one go, I have to say. And I treated myself to a really nice pretty blue one to match Myrtle. Right then, today we are making prawn and salmon pasta. You have lots of options with this recipe, okay? So don't feel you have to do exactly the way that I'm doing it. It's just this is the ingredients that I got, so this is the way I'm going to do it. So the one thing I will say is please, if there's a wriggle room in your budget, please only buy wild salmon. Farmed salmon is, it's really cruelly raised. The life of the salmon is really horrible. It also has a massive environmental impact as well. Wild salmon is caught wild, so the fish has a lovely life out in the wild, and then it has one bad day, as my farmer father would have said. So, and you can generally tell the difference because wild salmon is really dark and there's not thick white lines of fat in it. So yeah, if you can, I bought this frozen, which is great, and just defrost it before you need to cook it, easy peasy. If you don't want to use fresh, or if you are looking for something even quicker, perhaps you want to cook this on like midweek when the kids are home from football or whatever, and you just need to get dinner on the table really quick, you can actually buy cooked salmon fillets or even flaked salmon fillets, which saves you another step. Also, if you like the flavors in this recipe, then you could keep a couple of cans of tinned salmon in your camper van or in your camp kitchen, and you could use that instead. I haven't tried it. I don't know that I've ever actually bought or eaten canned salmon as an adult, so I'm not entirely sure if it's nice or not. I don't know, let me know below if you try it. Obviously you can also use dried pasta if you're going to keep it in the camper van, but I'm actually using fresh. I've got this fusilli, and I wanted like something spirally or something cuppy to kind of hold the sauce, because this is going to be quite a saucy little number. So I just got fusilli. You can use spaghetti, heck, you can even use instant noodles. Did you know that there is actually a free cookbook with your name on that shows you how to make 10 awesome recipes using a block of instant noodles? We get rid of that little nasty flavour sachet, but we pimp them and do other stuff. I'll leave a link to that below if you want to go and sign up to my newsletter, and then as a little thank you, you get this little cookbook for free. So feel free to go and grab that. I also have some raw prawns. These are king prawns. They're peeled, so I don't have to do much work, because obviously you don't really want to be getting stinky fingers when you're in a camping situation. Mine are raw, they're grey. You can buy them ready cooked, pink. Just lob them in at the end of the cooking time, because they just need reheating. But yeah, we have lots of options. Oh, and the other option we've got is I'm using creme fraiche, and this is all Tesco. This isn't sponsored by Tesco, it's just I happened to be passing a Tesco. I'm a complete tart when it comes to supermarkets. I am not loyal to one brand at all, so you heard it here first. I'm using creme fraiche to make that lovely oozy yummy sauce. I think you could probably get away with using cream cheese as well. Again, if you try it, let me know in the comments below if it works for you. And that is all the talking over. Let's cook. Alrighty, can you see that pan? That black line that you can see, that's a tripod leg. I don't know how we can get that out of shot, so you're just going to have to cope with seeing a tripod leg, sorry. Right then, let's get a little bit of oil in the pan. Always preheat your pan when you're cooking meat or fish. I like to do that because it instantly gets a little bit of a sear on there. Do you have to do that? No, of course not, but it's just what I like to do, really. I'm using avocado oil. Bit fancy, I know, but it's got a really high smoke point, so it doesn't damage, like the molecules or something don't damage when they get really hot. I don't really understand the science behind it, but I thought it sounded like a good idea. Okay, when your pan and your oil is nice and hot, we're going to start off by cooking our fillet of salmon. This recipe is for 2 people. 1 fillet of salmon is plenty. We're going to flake it up and kind of mix it through the pasta, so that's going to be more than enough. And it's going to probably take about 3 minutes each side, depending how thick your fillet is, obviously. And again, if you're using pre-cooked or you're using canned salmon, you don't even need to do this step. Like, just shifty on up to the next step. I'm kind of making work for myself here, aren't I? I don't know what I was thinking. Very, very tempting to get in there and start wiggling your fish around the pan. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just let it sit and behave itself. For a few minutes. Just wants to chill. It doesn't want you tickling it. I hope you guys are all keeping well and you're all safe in your corners of the world. We're all good down here. There haven't been massive more cases in Cornwall, which has been incredible. Like, none of us can quite believe it. But the UK cases in general appear to be going up, I think. So whether we're headed for another lockdown or not, watch this space. I'd be interested to hear how it's going in your corner of the world. Have you got a second wave? Are you through a second wave? Did you not even really get a first wave? It's really interesting, the different countries, the different approaches and the different outcomes that we've all had around the planet. Interesting times. When the skin releases from the pan, then you can turn it on over. Oh my gosh, it does look superb. And then we're just going to cook the other side for 2 or 3 more minutes, again, depending on the thickness of your fillet. As I'm sat here cooking this, I'm thinking of another quicker way we could have done this would have been to dice up the salmon fillet first. So take the skin off and then just cut it into little bite-sized pieces. And then you could have just flicked them around the pan to cook and they would have finished off cooking in the sauce at the end. So if you're short on time or you're trying to save your gas, that's another way to kind of speed up this whole salmon process. And when the fillet releases the second time, you can just pop your salmon onto a plate, and I'm just going to put that to one side. And then we're going to throw in a little bit more oil. You don't need much, just to kind of grease the pan out a little bit. And then I've got half a white onion here that I'm going to fry down. And obviously that onion's going to pick up all the flavours from that salmon that's cooked in there too, which is going to make it extra tasty. Okay, bear with me because we're about to start winging it now. What I'm going to do next is just pop in a lot of steam, it seems. That camera above the pan is now in big trouble. Just pop in a little splash of water. Now I'm hoping that I don't need to actually boil this pasta. This might be a complete fail, this recipe. I haven't pre-tried it, which is very silly in my line of work. I'm going to chuck the pasta in. I'm going to toss it round. Now, this is fresh pasta, so it will cook very quickly, but it does still need some moisture. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water in. And then I'm going to pop the lid on. And then I'm going to turn the heat right down. And then I'm going to cross my fingers that this works. And that camera unsteams itself. So I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4 minutes. I'll let you know in a minute if that was correct. And yeah, we're just going to kind of steam the pasta into existence. Like I said, we're winging it. We're all about the winging it here. Okay, let's have a little taste. I think that's been about 4 minutes. Just grab a slippery little bit of pasta. Perfect. It worked. See, if we don't try these weird and wonderful things, then we just never know, do we? Right, I'm just going to kind of try, not easy, but try to push the pasta out to one side, because then I want to tip in my prawns like that, and any juices in the pack can go in as well. And then we're going to turn that heat back up. If the pasta starts sticking, you can always add a splash more water. That's not a problem. Just want to get some colour on those prawns. And I'm just going to pop the lid back on, and we're just going to let those prawns steam and fry at the same time. If you're using dried pasta to make this dish one pot, obviously what you can do is pre-boil your pasta. So cook that in the regular salted water, drain it, pop it in a bowl. You might want to toss it in a little bit of oil first just to stop all the pieces of pasta sticking together, and then just pop that to one side. Then again, you can just tip it in when your onions and your garlic are done. There's always ways round making things one pot. And as you know, I hate washing up, so any excuse to make it as easy as possible. Okay, there's my prawns looking nice and pretty and pink. So now we're just going to toss those through with the pasta. And now we're going to add some creme fraiche. And this is what's going to make our nice creamy sauce. And we're also going to add in a squeeze of lemon. And then just give that a good old mix round. And what I would like to do is sprinkle it with some parsley. I always like to add something green to a dish that's looking very pale and insipid like this, because it just adds that contrast, and from a food photographer's point of view, it actually makes it look tastier, it makes it look fresher and prettier. So I don't have any parsley. My parsley plant has departed, end of the season for it, so I've instead got some chopped chives, which will still work and look beautiful, and more importantly will taste fabulous too. Rewind. We've got a piece of salmon to put in too. I'm just going to peel off that delicious crispy skin, and then I'm just going to use my fork just to flake that fish up, and then I'm going to toss that in too. Let's not forget the most important part of the dish, shall we? And we're just going to toss that through too, as if I hadn't forgotten it, and all will be well in the world. Now I need more chives, look. Oh my gosh, what do you think? Doesn't that look stunning? Okay, let's go in for a taste here. That is so nice. It's like a really delicate meal for me. Normally I do really like punching in your face kind of meals. That one is way more delicate and ladylike than I'm used to cooking. It's really lovely. Lovely textures as well, from that pasta to those prawns. The prawns have still got a little bit of bite to them. And then to that lovely flaked oily fish with the salmon. It's a really nice blend. And then every now and then you've got a little bite of fresh chives, which is really delicious too. I'm happy with that, people. I hope you are too. And don't forget, if you do give this one a go, please don't forget to take a photo and tag me on social media. You can find me everywhere. It's at Hedgecomber. Oh, and that camera's just died. Good timing. Right, beautiful people, that is it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. I'm certainly going to enjoy eating it, let me tell you. As always, please whack the thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up to date with all the latest recipes that I bring you. That link will be down below if you want to go and grab that free cookbook, and I'm going to catch up with you next week, and I have a lovely video to bring you next week. It's going to be nice and calming and relaxing, and hopefully it'll be a little bit interesting too. You'll have to wait and see. So as always, stay safe, keep smiling, and I'll catch up with you next week. Over and out.